Hello YouTube, this is Chelsea the Destroyer. Today we're watching more Internet Historian and we're going to watch the Failure of Fyre Festival. A lot of you have been wanting me to watch more Internet Historian, so here we are. Grab your snackies, grab your bevies, let me know what you're eating and or drinking down below. And let's get to watching. Fyre, what did I say? Fry? Did I say fry? Fyre Festival. I'm so sorry. I remember this happening. I don't know why I called it Fyre Festival. Probably because of... I might be a little dyslexic because it's spelled F-Y-R-E. Right, Dex? Hi. Axolotl, hi. Taui? Hello. My bad. Also, maybe I just like fries. You know, whatever. Okay, the following satire and journalistic in nature. All images and media have been sourced from public record, and a special care has been taken to censor names, faces, specific location records, and personal information of those featured to protect their privacy. Names of individuals mentioned in this video meet the criteria of public figures. Care has still been taken to keep any other information about these individuals private. Did you guys, do you guys remember this? Because I remember this happening, and then there was, like, this thing where it was like, oh, there's just a regular guy who won, like, tickets, who's, like, laughing his ass off about all these rich people freaking out. I don't know if that was real or if that was just like fake, you know? Like I legitimately don't know if that was like a real thing. Kind of funny if it was though. Not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna move this over here. Okay. Let's see. You watched the Josh video? Nice. So we're watching the Failure of Fyre Festival right now.
Hi there.
Oh yeah, happy Pride everybody.
You're probably
Hello.
wondering how I got this tan.
Nope.
Well, let me tell you the story. It begins with a man by the name of Billy McFarland. Billy was a good boy.
Oh, also, I think on Hulu, they had like a... I just took a bite of biscuit. I'm sorry. Roll? Also on like Hulu, they had like a documentary. I no longer have Hulu, but at the time, I watched that fucking Fyre Festival documentary. Like, I deep dived into this. I was like, this is ridiculous.
At 22, he had dreams of becoming a super wealthy entrepreneur, dropping out of college to start a business called Magnesis. Over the years, he managed to network with some powerful people. One of them was Ja Rule. Translated from German, I believe it means, yes, rule. Over drinks, he pitched an idea.
Okay.
Here's an accurate recreation of that event. Mr. Rule, he says, I have a brilliant idea.
Like, word, like, yo, what happened? Woo. I'm like, yo, this nigga too wild, fucking his bitch. Woo.
Precisely. Great minds think alike. It will be 2 weeks of absolute luxury in the Bahamas.
Lord.
Promotion began
Speaking
in
of
late
Pride Month.
2016. Fyre promised beaches, ladies, gourmet food, luxury villas. Hosted on a private island in the Bahamas called Fyre Cay, once owned by Pablo Escobar. VIP
Oh, that's why it's
tickets
called
up
Fyre
to
Festival.
$250,000. Swimming pigs. Blink 182. Major laser. A steel drum. Welcome to Fyre Festival.
The Jurassic Park logo is pretty funny.
Best 2 damn weeks of your life. I bought my ticket immediately. The day arrives. About 5,000 people are making their way directly from Miami Airport, and there are huge delays to get to Fyre Cay. Although I shouldn't say Fyre Cay, because it doesn't exist. In the marketing, they referenced this island, which is actually Norman's Cay, run by George Jung, not Pablo, by the way. But that doesn't matter because we're not going there either. We're going to Great Exuma. Private island? Forget that. Population? 7,000. In fact, we're basically in the parking lot of a sandals resort. In the end, only about 500 of us make it to the island. The remaining customers' flights are cancelled. You're about to see why. We're hauled onto a school bus and taken to the site, a gravel lot with a bunch of FEMA tents. Oh no! Remember those promises of luxurious villas? Pranked ya. Enjoy your stay, and don't forget your compliment.
I will give out of the things, like, first of all, this is not as advertised, right? So, like, I'm not saying, like, oh, it could be worse. I mean, it could be worse, but that's not what I'm trying to say. FEMA tents, these FEMA tents look kind of nice. Like, I'm not someone who goes outside and does stuff outside, but, like, I don't know. They look kind of sturdy.
Complimentary cup of UNICEF rice.
Turn this bus right around.
Once there, no one knows whose tent belongs to whom, so staff try getting everyone into a line. Then they abandon that idea and tell everyone it's a free-for-all.
Oh, Lord.
Expecting a party, this guy took all of his drugs on the flight over. He's the only one having any fun.
He's trying. Oh,
Everyone
he's
else
trying. He's trying. He's like, I spent the money. I spent my money to have a party. Fuck it. Let's at least party. Like, he's trying. Come on.
Grumpy because it's been 5 hours and there's no food. In lieu of food, staff decide to start handing out tons of free tequila.
Oh my
This only
God.
exacerbates problems.
Yeah.
Once the food does arrive, it's just as delectable as promised though. Gourmet craft single there. A few hours later, bags
Gourmet
arrive
craft
on a
single.
shipping container. It was getting dark and there was no lighting.
So everybody's walking around with their cell phones trying to look for their luggage.
Plenty of people had their luggage stolen. But don't worry, if you have any valuables,
Yep.
the festival advertised top-notch security. Here it is. But no one told
These-
guests they had to provide them.
These tiny little lockers. That's so small. Listen, there's a company, business, I don't know, that goes around to conventions in my area called Pop-Up Lockers, okay? We also bring them to my convention, whatever. What they do is, like, every once in a while, I don't know when, but a lot of schools that have lockers will replace the lockers. And the lockers still technically work, but for whatever reason, they get replaced, right, with new lockers. And this company goes and they, like, buy the old lockers. So, hi, Finder. So they buy the old lockers, right? And then they bring them to conventions and set them up, and you can rent them for, like, the weekend or, like, a day or a few hours or whatever as a con goer, right? So, like, you don't have to, like, take your stuff constantly back and forth the car. You have a high school locker, which is minimum 2 of these lockers. Maybe 2 and, like, a half. But, like, 2 of these lockers. Because, you know, they're probably about the same height. And they're 2 stacked on top of one another. This is just sad. Like, it's just sad.
Their own lock. There are rumors of muggings by the locals.
I heard rumors of feral dogs.
A tent supposedly caught fire. The closest beach has a rampant shark problem.
Oh.
Staff don't have any uniforms or walkie-talkies, so no one knows who's in charge, and the people who are in charge can't talk to each other. Here's the bathroom. Many
no.
staff quit after only a couple of hours. For the few customers who were willing to just make the most of it and enjoy the music, they had some bad news too. All of the major musical acts pulled out. In fact, Major Lazer wasn't even confirmed to go in the first place.
I don't think any of them were technically confirmed to go in the first place. Like, most of them, I don't think were. Or they weren't going to get paid or something. They were like, nah, man, you got to pay me. Which is so valid. This is Fyre Festival from years ago. I don't really remember when. They said it at the beginning, but, like, I have a goldfish memory, so, like, I don't remember stuff.
The event was promoted as cashless, so all people had were these useless Disney bucks on their Fyre band, which meant they couldn't buy anything or catch a cab if they were stranded. And even with only 500 people, there are too few tents and beds, so everyone is just stealing each other's. And for any of you thinking you could just escape to the sandals, bad luck. It's peak season and they are absolutely full. People are
Damn.
reaching out to the embassy for help.
Yeah.
After a few hours, most people chose to go back to the airport, and the rest were forced back home when the Bahamian government stepped in. The festival was closed.
Yeah, no shit.
But the exodus from the island made its own problems. Guests spent hours dehydrated and hung over in a hot building. Why staff locked the door isn't entirely known,
Jesus.
but one girl fainted before they were finally reopened. Everyone gets home, and that was the end of it. Except for
No, it's not.
me. I was rescuing someone, helping them out, and I got lost in the woods. Anyway, back at home, the shitstorm on social media was just ramping up. The Reddit Fyre Festival was created, and it started documenting everything that went wrong at the event. People were circulating a fake tweet by Jar that the whole thing was a social experiment. Some wholesome festival memes there. And it quickly turned into a marketing case study of what not to do. In response, Fyre started serving cease and desist letters to stop people from saying mean things about them. Mr. Rule
Yeah, except that man didn't have any fucking money. Like, that was the whole thing. That man, all of this happened because that man did not have money. So the whole thing was like, it kind of ended up being a scam. Like, I don't think he meant for it to be a scam. Like, he didn't go in this going like, I'm going to make a scam. But it just very much became, he didn't have any money. And like, it ended up being a scam because that man had no money. You know? Like, no, I'm not being like this poor soul. Like, no, like this was terrible. He got fucking sued. I think he got jail time too. He deserves it. But like, it was bad. Like, it was bad.
Cheer 1 NGLI totes misheard it as Batman did not have any money, which actually happened in the comics.
Okay, no, that man. But yeah, it's so, yeah, so the festival claimed all these bands were coming, but the bands never signed any contracts, never confirmed that they were coming. Like, they were like, you cannot pay us, we are not gonna go. That's why there was like the DashCon ball pit and one of those pictures, like someone had like photoshopped it because it was basically DashCon except for rich people, and it was like, you know, we're basically gonna try to make like Coachella, except instead of being where fucking Coachella is, it's gonna be on this like resort that Pablo Escobar used to own, like this island. It's gonna be beautiful. They're glossing over a lot of stuff on here, but like they literally had like a bunch of influencers and models like constantly making like videos that are really like that look really good to advertise it, and like nobody got paid. Like it was bad. Like it was super bad. Yeah, it was like false advertisement. Like, I guess they thought that they were going to be able to afford shit, and then nothing, like they were just like, we're going to do this. And then every step of the way, people were like, no, the fuck you're not. Like the guy that owns the original island was like, no, you're not going to use this island for this. Like, I'm not going to let you have the island for this. Cause I think he wanted a certain amount of money and they wouldn't pay him. So he was like, no, you're not going to. No, like, bye, figure something else out. And that's how they wound up at that other place in the Bahamas. None of the bands like signed contracts to go. Like, they just announced like, we're gonna have all these bands without actually getting those bands. Hi, doctor. Yeah, it was like a mess. Yeah, hey Zane. Yeah, we're talking about Fyre Festival. It was so horrible. And people like freaking out. Like, and I get why I'd be freaking out too. First of all, I mean, my ass just wouldn't be there. I don't believe things happen. Like, I'm skeptical. So I just wouldn't be there. This seems like my fucking nightmare. Also, like the fact that it was like, I don't know. The whole like, oh, our bags came via shipping container was a little weird. Thank you, Rose, for the hydrate. There's just a lot of shit.
Released an official statement online, both apologizing and saying that it's not his fault.
Yeah, it is. It is your fault.
Interestingly, he wasn't even on the island at the time. He was giving a concert in Chicago.
That's Ja Rule. Ja Rule, it's slightly your fault. Reno, hello, welcome. It's slightly your fault. I mean, I'm fine with going on islands, depending, right? But like, not this kind of shit.
Chicago. Although, to their
Finder, you're right. If it hasn't had several successful iterations, I ain't going. I don't trust it.
credit, they offer everyone a full refund. Or you could always let it ride and opt in for tickets to 2018's Fyre
Jesus
Festival.
Christ.
And a VIP ticket to next year's Fyre Festival if they decide to go.
The Fat Verano, thanks for the follow. Welcome to Kitty Kendo. Yeah, so that's the thing. Outside the U.S. is a little bit of a red flag. I don't know about that, but like, hey, Comic-Con High was backed by a convention that had been running 15 years. Okay.
Meanwhile, Billy is on full damage control. He claims that a storm came in the night before and changed all of the marketing into lies.
We got to a point that we were very excited about on Wednesday night with how the two sites looked, and we got hit by a big storm.
But the apologies weren't enough. A few days later, in the
So they made plans to do a second one and like actually do all the things that they promised. And that just didn't work out. I wonder why. It's a mystery.
first lawsuit was served.
There it
Attorney
is.
Ben Misalis doesn't think it's funny. He's filed a $100 million class action lawsuit against the organizers.
Then another suit. Then 7 more. Then the feds got involved, claiming Billy had committed wire fraud. Serious charges with serious prison time.
Hey, thanks, Piranha. Welcome.
More on that later.
But first.
Right now, let's go into the history of Fyre Festival.
Hold on, wait.
The marketing was clever. To get the word out, they got in touch with about 400 influencers, Instagram celebrities, and they offered them VIP tickets or cash to promote the event. They even managed to get Kendall Jenner to post about it. Rumor has it she was paid $250,000 for this post. The marketing
Oh,
worked,
wait, what
though.
post?
The
Hold on, I
festival
want to know what this is.
post about it.
Oops.
Rumor has it she was paid $250,000 for this post.
Okay, so hyped to announce my good music family is the first headliners for Fyre Festival. Get tickets now, fyrefestival.com. VIP access for my followers. Use my promo code, blah, blah, blah. Next 24 hours to get on the list for the artist and then talent after party. Oops, Kendall, better delete this.
The marketing worked though. The festival sold out. So how did it go so wrong? Let's start with the money. During the planning process, a consultant...
So, because people were... I think that they got sued over different things, though. Like, I don't remember. It was explained better in, like, the whole... Again, there's a documentary about this. I think it was explained better in the documentary. But there was, like, multiple different lawsuits about different things.
came in and said...
Also, you guys can't hear it. I have thunder behind me. So hopefully this won't... Hopefully my power won't shut off.
The festival would cost $50 million and require another year of organization.
They should have planned this 2 whole years out.
This is after they made all the promises, and they had nothing near that amount, so they started cutting expenses way back. Remember those luxury villas? They were going to cost $10 million alone, so they scrapped them. Now everyone gets a tent. Deposits for the bands? Nope. Food, infrastructure, staff, all were cut back. But, you may ask, how did they have so little cash if they sold out? It's the price. It was way too low. Now wait a minute, up to $250,000 a ticket is too low. In fact, on social media, people were so merciless and unsympathetic towards the guests because they thought it was a bunch of rich kids paying for tickets with a starting price of $12,000. And you can thank fake news for that assumption. You see that number repeated everywhere. But actually,
It was like up to $250,000. It was not the general price of a ticket was $250,000 or whatever it was. Like that wasn't what everyone was paying.
few were paying even close to that amount. The standard price was around $1,200, which, if you think about 2 weeks in the Bahamas with practically all of your expenses taken care of, that's pretty bloody good. In fact, some tickets were as low as $500.
6 months ago, got together and got the early bird special for about $500, and this covered food, transportation, ticket, and somewhere to sleep.
How on...
You know, they literally could have just done a cruise. Like they should have just seen. They should have figured out if they could book a cruise and do this through a cruise. Except cruises are giant now, so I guess I don't know. I feel like this could have been like a cruise thing, and everyone would have had a better time.
earth were they going to break even with that? They weren't. And on the flip side, there's no proof whatsoever that anyone purchased a $250,000 ticket. So basically, they're stuffed.
Yep.
Billy has to start taking tough short-term loans just to keep afloat. Which, by the way, is why they did the Fyre bans. It was to raise cash. It's reported that up to $2 million in Firebucks in-game currency was spent in the lead up to the event. But this wasn't even close to enough. Practically broke, and with the event only a few weeks away.
Well, no, like take a short cruise, to like the Bahamas from like fucking Florida or something, and then like have a few bands there, so like the bands wouldn't be on the cruise, but like I don't know. Again, that would be expensive too. I don't know. I don't have like a way to fix it. This is just terrible. This man didn't know what he's doing. Like, this is just so bad.
The more experienced staff suggested postponing. But thanks to those short-term loans,
I am not from Florida. I'm from Alabama.
He couldn't. So he insisted on going forward. Those staff tried to control the damage by telling celebrities and public figures not to go.
I remember that.
Festival.
So, Billy and Jar are in some serious trouble. But let's please have one failed festival that has a sequel. Well, Billy is out on $300,000 bail. His assets were frozen as at May 18th. He dropped his expensive attorneys. He's selling his property in New York. He tried to sell Magnesis for $150,000, but it was cancelled for being fraudulent. Massively in debt and with no hope of paying it.
Magnesis or whatever, I think was supposed to be kind of like, I could be wrong. I think it was supposed to be kind of like PayPal almost. I'm not really sure. I think it was supposed to be something kind of like that.
Back, Fyre went into involuntary bankruptcy. And that is the end of Fyre Festival. I'll keep you posted about whether Billy is going to jail. So long, Fyre Festival. You were too beautiful for this world. And as for me...
No, you weren't.
Well, it's time to go home.
Good luck. I mean, like, he did mention that, he was out on bail. So, I mean, he got arrested. I mean, like, the feds got him. Like, the feds picked his ass up. Like, so, and he did basically have to sell all of his assets. Yeah, it was like a luxury credit card or like oh, you're right. It was just a luxury credit card, I think. And no one had, like, yeah. I wouldn't trust that shit either. I don't know. I don't trust things. I'm a pessimist. I don't trust things. I don't respect this kind of hustle. I don't respect when there's an event and someone just screws over the people that go to the event. I run events. That hurts my bottom line. Like, I hate that shit. Like, don't hustle, my congoers, basically. I don't know. That's just me, in my opinion. Funny enough, that is what popped up, but maybe you saw that. Belle the Bleak, thanks for the follow. Welcome to Kitty Kindle. Okay, boop. What am I doing?